Hey, welcome back. So we have to pick up ingredients for our minestrone soup still. So what we're going to do is we're going to head out to the farmer's market and then to the grocery store, and then we'll be back in the kitchen getting everything ready to dive right into that crock pot. Okay, let's go. All right, we just got to the corn stop. This is where we're getting all of our produce for our minestrone soup. Let's see what they have and let's get this thing going. Non-farmer's market ingredients. I forgot kidney beans, so we gotta head back out. Let's go. Don't be that guy. I can't even get out of my car. I can. It's a good thing. I can fit. We made it back to Acme. Acquired. Pause for a brief intermission while I make lunch for two little boys that are playing in the pool. So we finally made it back into the kitchen after running around for all of our ingredients, having to make 2 Acme trips because I forgot to go get those kidney beans. So now we're back here. I've got everything all chopped up, ready to go into the crock pot. Yes, this recipe is a crock pot recipe. The crock pot can be really useful for many people, especially if you want to set it and forget it and go about your day and everything. I actually prefer to just simmer everything on the stove, but here we are, and now we have all of our stuff, so let's get ready to go. All right, so what we do have is our recipe here, and it was supposed to be 3 tomatoes, peeled, seeded, and chopped. Here are our tomatoes, and I will put the video in showing you exactly how I got these bad boys ready to go. So what I did was I cut an X on the bottom of each tomato, and then I put them into a pot of boiling water. I let them boil for about a minute, and then we took them out of the boiling water and put them in an ice bath. My ice bath was not very icy because my ice melted extremely fast. It is awfully warm here in the Northeast, and my water doesn't seem to be getting very cold right now. So then I peeled the skin off of each tomato and then chopped them up. I didn't make them too uniform. It was actually my very first time doing that with tomatoes. I had never rosed tomatoes before. I mean, blanched tomatoes before. That was a really cheesy joke. Anyway, so then the next thing is a bunch of green onions. So it's supposed to be 1 bunch of green onions chopped. So when I went to the corn stop today, which is our farmer's market, I got spring onions. So I just chopped 1 bulb of a spring onion because they're pretty big. So next is 2 medium carrots, peeled and chopped. I actually didn't cut them as uniform as they probably should be, which, you know, it's my soup. I don't really care. Next is going to be 1 garlic clove crushed. In my last video, a friend of mine commented saying that she measures vanilla with her heart, which is great. But I don't bake a lot, so vanilla, I'm just like, well, let's just add what they say. I, however, measure garlic with my heart. It said 1, I went with 4. So I crushed 4 cloves of garlic. And then next is our 15-ounce can of kidney beans. I just drained and rinsed them. Then we have 2 zucchini slices, what the recipe calls for. The place I buy my produce from currently has extremely large zucchini. This is one zucchini chopped. So I just did 1 because there was absolutely no need for more than this. Right. And then 2 cups of shredded cabbage. I have my green cabbage right here. I did not shred it. I just chopped it up into bite-sized pieces. And then 5 cups of beef broth, which that's 4 cups there. I have 1 cup measured out here. And then it's gonna be a 1/4 cup of dry red wine. So this is a 1/4 cup of red wine, which today actually was the first time I set foot in a liquor store in 9 months. I quit drinking. And I know that this is gonna burn off in the crock pot. It's just for flavor. But it was an accomplishment. So I dumped the rest of that out and told my husband that when he sees it in the trash can, that's what it's from. So Next, we have 2 cups of cooked small elbow pasta. I already have my pasta pre-cooked, which I will just put in the fridge for once the crock pot is done cooking, and then we're gonna actually have the soup. When you put pasta in a soup, especially like when you let it sit, the pasta soaks up the liquid, and then you just end up having really mushy, large pieces of pasta. So it's good to pre-cook your pasta and then either put it in a cold soup and let it sit, or keep it separate and then just add the pasta into your soup every time you're gonna eat it. So let's put that back there. And then it says a 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese, which is for the end. It says optional. Parmesan cheese is never optional unless you're allergic to it or you are lactose intolerant. But to me, Parmesan cheese is the bee's knees. It is the good stuff. And then all of your spices, it was oregano, parsley, and basil, salt, and pepper. I mixed everything in. It's actually supposed to be all fresh. And man, if I had multiple recipes that I was making, I would have bought all fresh, but first of all, it's expensive. Second of all, it's gonna go to waste because I'm not gonna use it all. It wasn't a whole lot for each thing anyway. Just remember that 1 tablespoon of a fresh ingredient is equal to 1 teaspoon of a dry ingredient. All right, so now we're gonna add everything into our crock pot. It's supposed to be low for 8 hours. It is currently 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I got a little bit of a late start. So I'm gonna put it on high for 4 hours, and I might even check it before then. My crock pot tends to run hot. So I'm gonna put it on high for 4 hours, go hang out with my family, and do some other stuff, and then we'll come back at the end and give her a taste. So let's add everything in now. Please excuse this extremely loud beep my crock pot's about to make. Just kidding, it didn't. All right, first I'm gonna add in my tomatoes. All right, zucchini. Hopefully my crock pot's big enough for all this stuff, because it's already filling up. All right, kidney beans, carrots, spring onions, put all those in there. Okay, cabbage. It's the fancy way to do it. I just didn't have any bowls left. Oh yeah, that cabbage is gonna fill her up. Garlic. Got my spoon. The best ingredient of all. At least we know I'm not a vampire. Oh, you know what I'll do? I'm gonna watch the Phillies. They are just back from the All-Star break. Alec Boehm did a awesome job. So that's what I'll do. We're gonna add in our seasonings. And then I'm gonna add in this red wine. Try not to make too much of a mess. You know, since I don't use the crock pot very often, I actually had to clean the crock pot before I could use it, because it had been sitting up on top of the shelves for quite some time. All right, that is the 1 cup of broth, and then we will use the rest of this. I almost forgot all about this for a second. So 5 total cups of broth, 1/4 cup of red wine, and as much garlic as your darling little heart desires. Lid on, and we're gonna go high. We're gonna go high for 4 hours. It's an awful beeping sound. All right, and we're good to go. So high for 4 hours, and then we'll come back and give her a taste. See how it is. This was really fast. This would be great if every recipe was this fast. Just kidding. You know I love you. I'm gonna take myself outside and enjoy this fine evening because it's no longer hotter than the devil's butthole. It has been so hot in the Northeast. So hot. I think it's so hot everywhere. I'm pretty sure California and Nevada are just gonna melt off of, off the map. So I'm gonna go enjoy the outside for a little while before I'm stuck back in the inside. All right, see you in a bit. So we're back, and it took about 5.5 hours on high. It was a little bit longer than I expected, honestly. The vegetables were still pretty raw when I came back at 4 hours. So I guess, I mean, the recipe did originally say 8 to 9 hours on low. So also, why didn't y'all tell me about my hair? We can't ignore that my bangs look like that the whole time. That's awful. Anyway, so let's give this a try. I've got a little bit in my bowl here. Honestly, what I think it's going to be pretty bland. Even the broth looks thin. And the recipe is very simple. There's not a whole lot of extra that I would normally think to put in, you know, a tomato-based soup. So let's give it a try. I did let it cool down a bit, so I'm not gonna my way through this video. Yeah. So exactly as I thought, it is super bland. So that's that recipe. That recipe is very simple. I'll put it at the end, but I'm gonna go ahead and say this was a thumbs down on this one. I hope that if she made this, especially if she made it for a party, that nobody lied to her, or that she didn't make it again, because it's not good. Tomorrow, because I don't want this whole pot of food to go to waste, tomorrow, since it is actually almost 10 o'clock at night now, tomorrow I'm going to add, I think, tomato paste. I think I'm going to do tomato paste, a can of tomatoes, like diced tomatoes, and Worcestershire sauce, or wash your sister sauce, however you want to pronounce it. But I think I'm going to add a little bit, jazz it up a little, because I don't want to waste it, and we still need to eat this. Since we're here, we can talk about the next video, which is another recipe that I found inside the book. I know I said I wasn't going to do that, but I did. And this is because I want to go savory, sweet from here on out. And this is going to be another sweet recipe. So this one I found in the book. It's actually on my aunt's stationery. She had a recipe. I spoke to her about this. She had a recipe for plum cake that she had tried at a work party quite a while ago. So she asked the original lady who made the cake for the recipe. She gave it to her, and then my aunt gave it to my grandmother. So yeah, it is plum cake. And the reason why I decided that I really wanted to try this, because another aunt and my grandmom got together for a recipe, but also because the first ingredient is 2 jars of strange baby food plums. So 2 jars of plum baby food. I've never cooked with baby food, so, you know, let's give it a try. But I thank you for coming back to see this disaster. Don't make this one. Just find a good minestrone recipe. This one's not it. It ain't it, sis. So, thanks for coming back, and maybe I'll see you again next time. Bye.